Tonight, a new way to do business for Ontario schools.
Who's going to want to do a job to get paid next to nothing and have no power to actually really help or make any positive change?
Trustees will return to Ottawa's largest school board, but their responsibilities will shift, and a new CEO will oversee budgets at English public and Catholic boards. More violence in the ByWard Market.
It would be nice to see maybe a greater police presence in the evening.
Another stabbing ahead of a plan for an enhanced police presence in the area. And the Sens are in.
Ottawa's going back to the Stanley Cup playoffs for the second straight year.
Clinching a second consecutive playoff berth on the weekend.
On Friday, Sens insiders and the general public will have a chance to buy playoff tickets.
The team president joins us with how to punch your playoff ticket and everything fans need to know. Good evening. We begin tonight with the details on the Ford government's plan to change the way school boards are operated across the province. Trustees will remain. They'll come back to the Ottawa Carleton District School Board, but their powers will be diminished. Instead of a director of education, boards will now have a CEO and a chief education officer. Trustees' honorariums will be capped at a maximum of $10,000. The OCDSB honorarium was $16,000 last year. None of the changes will apply to French language school boards. CTV's Josh Morano joins us now with more details on today's announcement. Josh.
Yeah, Patricia, there were concerns the province was going to eliminate trustees altogether, and that won't be happening. But this proposed legislation is raising questions about what role trustees will actually play in the future. From who controls the budget to how decisions get made, new proposed legislation from the province would reshape how school boards operate.
I can't see this announcement today making anybody feel any better about any of it.
It means school board trustees will be coming back to the Ottawa Carleton District School Board, but with limited decision-making powers, something parents like Kate Dudley-Logue are concerned about.
If they're basically going to just be figureheads that sit at a table and listen and maybe offer advice that is not listened to by the school board, that's not helpful.
The legislation introduced at Queen's Park on Monday significantly changed the role trustees play.
We will introduce a salary cap, reduce the number of elected trustees to no more than 12 per board, and eliminate most expense accounts except for modest, clearly defined budgets in rural and remote boards.
The plan is to also bring in a new structure to school boards, replacing the Director of Education with a CEO-style role to oversee finances and develop the budget.
Trustees will have the ability to weigh in on the CEO's proposed budget. They will have the ability to make suggestions, and they will have the ability to say yes or no, but not make changes to that budget.
There will also be a separate position, a Chief Education Officer, focused on student achievement. The province says the changes are about preventing the kind of financial issues that led to the takeover of boards like Ottawa's last year, but critics say it doesn't target what they're seeing on the ground.
Trustees are the ones bringing to the public light that public education is woefully underfunded, particularly in special education. So obviously, no government wants people criticizing them.
For Dudley-Logue, she says it's a step, but not one in the right direction.
If they can't actually represent the families that require advocacy to help their kids get the supports they need, that's not really helpful.
The province says the OCDSB will stay under provincial supervision as long as it takes to get a balanced budget, so it's unclear when trustees will return. But they will be on this ballot in this fall's municipal election. Also included in the proposed legislation, mandatory written exams for grade 9 to 12 students, along with allowing teachers to make participation and attendance worth 15% of the final course mark. Patricia.
All right, CTV's Josh Morano live for us tonight. Thank you. There is a lot in there. We have more details on the province's plan, changes to school boards online. You can find those stories at ctvnewsottawa.ca. Well, a driver is facing charges after a crash outside an elementary school earlier today. This happened just after noon in front of Marie Curie Elementary School. The collision involved two vehicles. One flipped onto its roof. One person was brought to hospital with minor injuries. Another was assessed at the scene. The school is located on Heron Road near Baycrest Drive, and as the councillor for the area notes, there used to be a photo radar camera in that area on Heron between Alta Vista and Baycrest.
I would like to see the speed cameras back, to be honest. I know not everybody was a fan, but this is an example of where you have a school zone where it's a place where you can't put the speed humps. It doesn't meet the criteria, and there needs to be measures in front of the school where you have a lot of primary students.
Photo radar cameras went dark last year after the Ford government banned them. The driver in today's crash was charged with dangerous operation. There was another violent weekend in the ByWard Market, a stabbing Saturday night in the same area where a woman was attacked just days earlier. It comes as police are set to roll out a downtown safety plan that would see more boots on the ground. CTV's Katie Griffin is here with more on this. Katie.
Patricia, the man stabbed remains in critical but stable condition in hospital. The downtown safety plan is set to start May 1st. Some say they've already noticed an increased police presence.
A violent Saturday night in the ByWard Market. A man stabbed in the chest in the area of George and William Streets.
Shocked and disappointed when we see acts of violence or, disruptive behavior in the William Street corridor.
David Mangano is the co-owner of the Grand Pizzeria. Days earlier, their security cameras capturing a violent attack on a woman Thursday night in the same area. Police say it remains under investigation.
We have noticed an increase in police presence over the last couple weeks. Some of the trouble does happen due to the large numbers of people congregating, especially at the Rideau William Street area near the LRT terminal. And that's where bylaw, loitering, noise control, disruptive behavior all should be sort of controlled there.
In March, Police Chief Eric Stubbs outlined a new downtown safety plan, promising more officers in areas like the Market, Chinatown, and Centertown, set to be rolled out May 1st.
Very visible, and they'll be focused, and they'll know exactly where to go in terms of those hotspot areas, as well as targeting those people that are causing the community the most harm.
The area councillor says increased police presence is one piece of the puzzle.
Whether that be more mental health supports, more housing supports, more investment into the ByWard Market itself, into better lighting, into, more solutions for that underground parking spot. So, yeah, I always say as long as we think more long term, because the health and the vitality of the ByWard Market reflects the health and the vitality of our city.
Mangano says most of the violent incidents are targeted and people shouldn't be afraid to visit.
The market is safe. It's a great place to visit.
And you can also expect to see the Ottawa Police Mounted Unit as part of this downtown safety plan alongside foot and bike patrols. Patricia.
CTV's Katie Griffin reporting live for us tonight. Well, residents in Perth are on edge tonight as Ontario Provincial Police investigate what they are calling a suspicious death. A man was found in Duel Park yesterday afternoon with life-threatening injuries. He later died in hospital. CTV's Dylan Dyson was in Perth today and joins us now with the latest on this. Dylan.
Yeah, Patricia, this incident has shocked many in the Perth community, which is known to be a quiet and charming little town. But this is also not the first time an incident similar to this has happened in the same park.
It's a little unsettling being this close to the park.
Perth resident Nick Cato says he's worried for his family as police investigate a suspicious death near his home.
It's the type of scenario that's going to be scary for everyone, and I got the two kids. I guess that's what makes me the most nervous and uncomfortable.
Lanark County OPP say on Sunday, just after 3 p.m., a person was found in Duel Park with life-threatening injuries.
A citizen was walking through Duel Park in Perth and came across a male party who had visible signs of injury.
The man, who police say was in his 30s, was taken to hospital where he later died.
The investigation's ongoing, so there's a post-mortem being conducted today, and we'll have a better determination of cause of death at that time.
There's been only 2 murders in Perth in the last 10 years, one in 2024 and another in 2016, which also happened at Duel Park. Police say they are looking for suspects after Sunday's incident.
It's shocking, right? It's I lived in Perth my whole life, and living here in the last 14 years, this is something that's happened twice now in this specific park.
It's definitely unsettling, and it's not like the town, right? It's a heritage town. you come here to retire or to start a family.
Police say at this time they believe there is no risk to public safety, but that isn't easing the tension for residents.
Pretty much in my backyard. It's not knowing the circumstances or whether or not it's, you know, an attack. Is it random? That's what's worrisome too.
As of Monday afternoon, access to Last Duel Park in Perth is still blocked off by police as the investigation into this suspicious death continues. Patricia.
CTV's Dylan Dyson live for us tonight. Thank you. Still ahead, she can do at 90 what you may not be able to do right now. CrossFit and longevity, marking a birthday with an energetic celebration. That story coming up. Well, here's a live look now through our Centennial Glass sky cam. 17 degrees out there right now. I think the rain that we saw throughout the day has tapered off a little bit. Cloudy skies, but a lot more rain to come this week. Jackie.
Well, yes,
April showers big time.
April showers time, because what will happen? It'll bring Mayflowers. So I will embrace this as long as we get these high double-digit temperatures. And taking a look, we have a special weather statement in effect for parts of the region, that specifically is the Pembroke-Renfrew area. There isn't one in place for Ottawa, Smiths Falls, Brockville, Kingston, but we are keeping a close eye on this because we are anticipating between 10 to 15 millimeters of rain moving through. And by the time Friday rolls around, we could see between 40 to 70 millimeters of rainfall. Now, a closer look at when we can expect more rain on the way. This is going to be early Tuesday morning, just after 7 o'clock. The yellow and the orange that you see, this is going to likely trigger potential risk of thunderstorm moving through here in Pembroke and as well as Renfrew. This could be around the 8 o'clock hour. For Ottawa, it could be anywhere between 10 and the noon hour. So the rain is going to be moving through fairly quickly by the time the evening rolls around, but it is going to be more rain by the time we get to Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. Temperature-wise, though, we are getting to a daytime high about 14, 15 degrees. By noon, we're going to already hit 11. So you do want to bring your raincoat and rain gear, but you can leave the winter jackets at home. Really, right now, temperatures across Eastern Ontario sitting around 14, 17 degrees. We'll get a closer look at your long-term forecast in just a bit.
All right, thank you, Jackie. Well, voters are heading to the polls in 3 federal by-elections tonight, 2 in Toronto and 1 in Quebec. And the Liberals need to win just one of those races to get a majority government. CTV's senior political correspondent Mike Couture reports.
For some people voting in today's by-elections, federal politics is about the person they want to send to Ottawa.
She knows what the Scarborough Southwest needs. It's not like somebody that's coming in from another area. So it's very important that we have somebody representing our needs.
That candidate is the former deputy leader of the Ontario NDP, who's now running for the Liberals.
The Liberal Party of Canada is a big tent where I see myself voicing my concerns of the people of Scarborough Southwest.
Now, the new leader of the federal NDP is questioning the size of that big tent, given the Liberals welcomed 5 opposition MPs in as many months, including the latest, who held social conservative views.
I think the Liberal tent is stretched so far now that the fabric must be, I don't know, is it spandex? It is something very stretchy when you can encompass Marilyn Gladue in a caucus with progressives in the Liberal Party.
Now, for some voters, the issues are more important than the politics around them.
Affordability, social issues, things that include everybody, cost of living.
Key issues for all parties, but on Parliament Hill, the Conservatives were criticizing how the Liberals set themselves up to secure a majority.
The government seems committed to their strategy of backroom deals.
Now, 2 of the 3 by-elections are taking place in ridings that have historically been Liberal strongholds, meaning Prime Minister Carney is likely to get a majority less than a year after voters handed him a minority mandate. Mike Couture, CTV News, Ottawa.
And joining us now to talk more about these consequential by-elections and what the results could mean is CTV's chief political correspondent, Vashi Kapelos. Vashi, thanks for being here. How unusual is it that the Liberals are in a position to make this happen based on floor crossings and now by-elections?
It's pretty unusual. We actually asked the Library of Parliament, funny you should ask, Patricia, about whether or not any party has been able to go from a minority to a majority just through by-elections, and the answer that they provided us with was no, it has not. Now, Mackenzie King in 1921 was just, I think, a few seats shy of the majority and was able, through floor crossings and by-elections, to go back and forth between minority and majority territory. So that's the closest example we could find. All that to say, this would be fairly historically unprecedented, particularly in the modern Canada.
And we've become pretty used to minority governments in this modern Canada, at least in recent years. What does this change to have a majority Liberal government?
Well, it means that the government, in order to advance its agenda, does not need to rely on support from any of the opposition parties. Depending on the legislation, they'll lean on this party or that party. They don't have to do that anymore, which in theory means they should be able to move forward at a much quicker pace with that agenda. Whether that happens in practice, I think, should they secure a majority tonight, will be the big question facing this government. They have promised huge things. The Prime Minister himself has said, this is going to be the most ambition that you've seen in generations. Well, that hasn't necessarily come to fruition yet, right? There is a lot left to produce, and there will no longer be the ability for the Liberals to say, well, it's the opposition that are hamstringing us. It's pushback in the House of Commons. It's negotiations. Like, if they don't do it, they'll have no one to look at other than themselves in the mirror. So I think that does, to a degree, increase political pressure on them. At the same time, it allows them to move forward at a much quicker pace because they won't have to rely on support from the opposition.
And yet that sense of celebration that we saw some of your team was reporting on at the Liberal convention this weekend, not likely to diminish if things go as expected tonight. How do the Conservatives kind of play that from here and work this to their advantage?
Yeah, it's a good question. It's going to be really interesting to see. I think actually from the people I speak to behind the scenes in the Conservative Party, they're not devastated at the prospect of having a bit more time, right? What this does provide them is the opportunity for the shine to wear off the Prime Minister and the Liberals more largely at this moment. And then the Conservatives try and take advantage of that, try and capitalize on that and get back some of the support that they have clearly lost in public opinion polling. At the same time, what does this dynamic do to the ability of Pierre Poilievre to be able to control or see discipline among his caucus, right? 4 people have already crossed the floor to the Liberals. Does this make it harder for him to retain those MPs? I think that's a potential challenge down the road, while the opportunity lies basically in the ability to take advantage of time now being maybe on their side.
Thank you for your time, Vashi. We'll be watching tonight. Appreciate it.
My pleasure.
And CTV News will have full coverage of tonight's by-elections hosted by Vashi and CTV News chief anchor Omar Sachedina. That will begin at 7 p.m. on CTV News channel and CP24. It will also stream at ctvnews.ca and on Crave. Well, the federal government unveiling new measures today to help students find summer jobs, which is welcomed by both local businesses and young people who are struggling to get their foot in the door. CTV's Kimberly Johnson joins us in studio with the details. Kimberly.
Patricia, the federal government says it's looking to add tens of thousands of positions for businesses to help hire young students and employees as it battles high unemployment for young Canadians.
This is where farm camp will be.
Saunders Farm is getting ready to host kids at their summer day camp in the coming months. And as they look for camp counselors, the boost to the Canada Summer Jobs program is welcome news.
Excited that the program is, I feel like it's back on track.
The federal government is looking to get more young Canadians into the job market by helping businesses like Saunders hire more students.
It does help us hire more students than we normally would in the summertime.
The Canada Summer Jobs program helps subsidize the wages of students. Last year, Saunders Farm was turned down, but this year, owner Mark Saunders says he'll be able to hire 17 students under the program.
So it really is a really great way to boost the economy, especially the rural economies that sometimes struggle in these days. But even all small businesses need a little bit of a leg up.
The jobs minister announcing the federal government is working to create 175,000 jobs and training opportunities for young Canadians, as youth unemployment numbers remain high at 13.8% in March.
That is deeply concerning, in fact, because prolonged unemployment as a young person can really inhibit their career trajectory, but also their earning potential.
That includes creating 100,000 Canada Summer Job postings, an increase of 25,000 over last year, as well as increasing the student work placement program, which helps businesses hire post-secondary students in paid internships.
I think it's really important. You know, a lot of us, we have to pay rent, we have to pay for our education, we need to pay for groceries, and you can't really do that if you're doing unpaid work.
Youth unemployment peaked back in September of last year, reaching 14.6%. March's numbers sit just below that, showing that the numbers continue to hold steady.
Patricia.
CTV's Kimberly Johnson reporting live for us tonight. Thank you. Well, an Ottawa man is charged with several sexual offences, and police believe there could be other victims. The Ottawa police began investigating in 2024. 39-year-old James Edmund Larrabee is facing 10 charges, including sexual assault, abducting a person under 16, sexual interference with a person under 16, and unlawful possession of child sexual abuse and exploitation materials. Again, investigators believe there could be other victims in the Ottawa area. Anyone with information is asked to contact police. The City of Pembroke is asking residents to be civil to municipal staff after an incident last week. On Friday, a pedestrian reportedly yelled and threw a coffee at a snowplow operator after getting splashed by the vehicle. Well, there is mounting international concern tonight over the impact of the U.S. military blockade of the Strait of Hormuz. It took effect today and stretches all the way down Iran's coastline, with access in and out of Iranian ports restricted. CTV's Annie Bergeron-Oliver with the ongoing threats and this new phase of the war.
Oil prices surged Monday above $100 a barrel as U.S. Navy ships began blocking the Strait of Hormuz, stopping all vessels from entering or exiting Iranian ports.
We can't let a country blackmail or extort the world, because that's what they're doing.
Since the war began, Iran has heavily restricted access to the Strait of Hormuz, a key waterway through which 20% of traded oil normally passes. President Donald Trump says the U.S. doesn't need the strait and that his latest move in the region will get Iran back to the negotiating table after talks broke down this weekend over Iran's refusal to end its nuclear program.
Iran will not have a nuclear weapon. And we agreed to a lot of things, but they didn't agree to that. And I think they will agree to it. I'm almost sure of it. In fact, I am sure of it. If they don't agree, there's no deal.
The new U.S. blockade seeks to starve Iran of an estimated $200 million a day in oil reserves, a form of economic pressure experts say could backfire. Iran has threatened to strike any vessel that it believes is violating the two-week ceasefire.
Absolutely, we're escalating the conflict. And that is really the intent, escalation. But to what point?
Experts say the blockade likely goes against international law, and several U.S. allies, including Spain, France, Turkey, and the UK, have criticized Trump's move.
My guide from the start of this conflict has always been our national interest. That's why we stayed out of the war and why we continue to stay out of the war.
Economists say Canadians can expect to see higher inflation over the coming months, even if this fight over the strait is somehow solved within days. Annie Bergeron-Oliver, CTV News, Ottawa.
And stay with CTV News for continuing coverage of the conflict in the Middle East. For updates on radio, tune into News Talk 580 CFRA and CTV News Channel. A playoff fever is starting to hit the capital after the Sens clinched a spot in the postseason over the weekend. Yeah, it will soon look just like this outside the Canadian Tire Centre as the Senators get set for their second playoff run in 2 years. The Senators will open the first round of the series on the road with games 3 and 4 to be played at Canadian Tire Centre. Sens Mile is set to return to the downtown core this week, and tickets will go on sale in the coming days. We're going to tell you exactly when, coming up with Cyril Leader when he joins us a little later in the newscast with everything you need to know about ticket sales and what the team is planning for playoff watch parties. We do not yet know who the Sens' opponent will be.
I don't believe that number's me. I just can't believe it. I don't feel 90. I'm just going to continue coming to CrossFit till I'm 100.
Just ahead, the most inspiring athlete in this CrossFit class is showing strength colleagues half her age can only dream of. So good. Jackie.
Thanks so much, Patricia. We've got a rainy week ahead with several consecutive systems that could bring rainfall totals between 40 to 70 millimeters by Friday. But overnight, cloudy skies are in the forecast, 6 degrees the overnight lows. And tomorrow, a daytime high of 14 degrees. But in the morning, we could see a risk of some thunderstorms. Here's a live look through our Centennial Glass Sky Cam. The sun peeking through after we saw a gray, rainy day for most of today. It's 17 degrees out there right now.
Well, taking a look at the roads and the tail end of your commute, it's been a fairly good Monday commute. Usually some lighter volume out there on a Monday, and all is looking smooth right now. Well, we all know those fitness buffs who get all the attention at the gym. In their 20s, lifting heavy weights. Well, tonight, meet one CrossFit expert envied by fellow classmates who want to be just like her when they grow up. CTV's Camille Wilson reports.
In a CrossFit center full of super fit people, it's not the strongest or fastest, even the youngest who stands out.
Avril's an inspiration to every single person that walks into the gym, myself included.
All the buzz at this place is about Avril Legault, 90 years old, and working out with the best of them.
I don't believe that number's me. I just can't believe it. I don't feel 90. But that's because of CrossFit.
Legault's husband passed away 9 years ago.
After being married for 60 years, I didn't know what to do with myself. So this is a friend of my daughter's. She got me into CrossFit, and that was the beginning. It's too wimpy.
Her goals were modest: how to get up if she falls down.
I remember when she first joined the gym, she walked up those stairs with a walker. And after coming to the gym for about 3 weeks, she sold her walker because she didn't need it anymore. It's a reminder that we can all move our bodies at any age.
Legault's daughter says CrossFit is her mom's lifeline.
I'm super proud of her. I have so much respect. Like, so many people just can't get out the door. She's really proud of herself, and we're happy for her. She's still living on her own, and she is stubborn. She's going to make it to 100 for sure.
Class members say it's about always thinking, what would Avril do?
She's not afraid of anything, and it's such an inspiration. I hope that I can be even like half of her when I am her age.
Proud to be the oldest in her class, her favorite song, fittingly, is Staying Alive.
All you have to do is get off the couch and join CrossFit, and you'll feel a lot better.
And this is her birthday, and this is how she is celebrating age 90. And she has no intention of stopping anytime soon.
I'm just going to continue coming to CrossFit till I'm 100.
For her 90th birthday, the gym owner is giving her a free membership for life. Camille Wilson, CTV News.
I guess so. Amazing. I spent a lot of time on the couch this weekend. Good for her and happy birthday. Well, certainly a rainy start to the work week in the capital. It was pouring rain earlier today. A rainfall warning was in effect for the region, but has since been lifted. It's mainly cloudy tonight, but the rain is expected to return tomorrow, which is a reason for a lot of people maybe to be spending too much time on the couch, Jackie, when it's kind of gray and miserable like that.
Not very inspiring to get out and about, but luckily the rain has paused, at least for the rest of this Monday. So now's a great time to head out and about because, hey, it's 17 degrees right now, maybe even 18 saw at some point today. Daytime high is what we anticipated. Those winds are starting to calm down as well. Sun setting at 7:46 this evening. Now, tonight's lows, we are going to be above the freezing mark, and that's so nice to hear, especially since we are getting to the middle of April. 7 degrees in Ottawa, Cornwall, about 4 degrees along Petawawa, Kemptville, around at 7 degrees. Cloudy skies really throughout eastern Ontario. Tomorrow, though, a different story. It's going to be very early in the morning that we could see a risk of thunderstorms moving through. Temperatures will get to a daytime high about 11-15 degrees. Some parts along the Seaway could see 17-18 degrees as the daytime high. Now, right now in Atlantic Canada, Fredericton around 10 degrees, Charlottetown also at 6. They've got precipitation moving through as well. So really much of Ontario is seeing this heavy rainfall moving through. Windsor, 25 degrees, one of the warmest parts of the country right now, because as we look to our friends in the west coast, you can't see Winnipeg is at a balmy, not so balmy, 3 degrees, mix of sun and cloud. Calgary, 13 degrees with the risk of thunderstorm moving in. Vancouver also sitting at a daytime high of 12 degrees. And a reminder, a special weather statement is in effect for parts of the region. That really is focused along Pembroke and just north of Ottawa, along parts of the Quebec area as well. So we're keeping a very close eye on this. An additional 10 to 20 millimeters of rain is what we're anticipating, in addition to what we have seen today. So again, 7 a.m., that's when we're going to start to see activity move through. It should start to lighten up just after the noon hour, but keep in mind it's going to come quite heavy and fast, and we could see potential thunderstorms moving in. And by Wednesday in the morning, the focus will be closer to Kingston and Brockville, where we could see heavier rainfall and a risk of thunderstorm as well. So not quite hitting Ottawa or the Valley, but we are keeping close eye on this because the wind could shift this as well. Now, the 7-day forecast is brought to you by Davidson Hearing Aid Centers, celebrating over 80 years in family business. Tuesday, not quite 17 degrees, but I'll take the 11. That will be the coolest day for this week. Wednesday, the chance of showers in the early morning, 14 degrees, the daytime high. 17 for Thursday, but we will see rain periodically throughout the day. And it's going to be a steady one, too. So you definitely want to keep your rain gear out for this week. Saturday, 21 degrees is the anticipated daytime high. Hopefully this trends for the better, but when I look at Monday, I'm seeing single digits back down closer to the freezing mark. So hopefully that changes. Hopefully we get some warm winds coming in from the south. But for now, enjoy this weekend temperature-wise. Take the rain.
Is that a glitch in the computer? Is that a system error?
I'm going to double check.
21 on Saturday, 4 on Monday. That'll feel like a Monday. Thanks, Jackie. Well, just ahead, this is not the news drivers want to hear, but more lane reductions are starting on part of the Queensway as construction gets underway. Our popular Team of the Week segment is back. If you want to be a part of our Myers Automotive Group Team of the Week, upload your video to ctvnewsottawa.ca. A huge weekend for hockey fans. The Sens have punched their ticket to the playoffs, clinching on Saturday with a win over the Islanders and a little help from the Devils, who beat Detroit that night. It means with just one game to go in the regular season against the Leafs on Wednesday, fans are very much focused on what comes after and the first playoff series that will not involve the Leafs in years. And no one more excited than Cyril Leader, President and CEO of the Ottawa Senators, who joins me now from the CTC. Congratulations, Cyril.
Thank you, Patricia. It's exciting here, as you can imagine.
Super exciting for fans, but you can't understate how big a second consecutive playoff berth is from a business standpoint, right?
Yeah, it's important for us. We're kind of rebuilding our relationship with our fan base here, and we saw the benefits of making the playoffs last year. We added this year over 2,000 new season seat members, and we're hoping to do something similar this year. It's really good for the business of hockey and our relationship with our fans.
So is that the first step, to try to sell a few playoff tickets based on people who might be willing to sign up for season tickets next year? Is that what you do before putting them out to the general public?
Yeah, there's a couple steps there. First is just the ones that have not renewed their season seats already, opportunity for them to step back up and renew their season seats and get access to playoff tickets. And then we're also selling new season seats, and that's gone very well. We had our sales team in over the weekend. As soon as we clinched, there was a flurry of activity, so we sold a couple hundred new season seats, and we're pushing that. But we are going to go out to the public with tickets available for sale, and they'll go out Thursday to season seat members, can buy additional individual game tickets, and on Friday we'll have Sens insiders and the general public will be able to buy tickets for this year's playoffs.
Okay, amazing. I'm glad we have exact dates on this, because I know we were saying later this week, and there's a lot to
You
figure
got
out.
it, Patricia. Here it is. You're breaking the story. We were working through that today to make sure we could get through all of our inbound activity from our existing season seat members, and we're working through that pretty quickly. So it'll be Thursday to season seat members, again, individual games, and then on Friday, Sens insiders and the general public will have a chance to buy playoff tickets.
And we will know then who the Senators are facing in the playoffs and when those games are. Of course, the series will start on the road.
Yes, so we won't know that probably until Wednesday night who we're playing, and then it won't be until Thursday night the timing of the game. So that initial season seat member email may be going out to them before we know the dates of the games, but certainly on Friday morning, the general public and our Sens insiders want to buy tickets. They'll know who we're playing, and they'll know the dates and the game when the games are being played.
All right, and we are out of time here, but I assume Sens Fan Zone, Sens Mile, all of that from game one on.
Yes, the Sens Mile will get that open this week with the city. We'll be raising a flag, and we will be doing watch parties here at the building, outdoors with a big screen for the away games. And of course, we'll have our CIBC Plaza will be open for the away games and for the home games here at the CTC.
Cyril Leader, thank you very much for this. Again, congratulations. Best of luck. Hoping for a deep run.
Thank you, Patricia. We are too.
And we have more details on the upcoming playoffs, the ticket sales, everything you need to know you can find on our website, ctvnewsottawa.ca. Now, some other stories you need to know right now. 2 new towers could one day dot the skyline in the Centertown neighborhood. A developer has submitted a plan to a city committee to build 2 residential high-rises at 267 O'Connor Street between Gilmore and McLaren Streets. One would be 27 stories, the other 25. There would be a total of 513 residential units, an underground parking garage, and commercial and retail space at street level. Councillors are set to vote on the proposal this week. OC Transpo plans to refurbish dozens of aging articulated buses to help improve service and address the ongoing bus shortage. Staff say they've identified more than 30 buses that could remain in service for an additional 3 to 5 years with a major refurbishing. OC Transpo also continues to look for used buses it can buy from other municipalities. Last year, it purchased 11 used buses from Waterloo. Well, spring just started, but a summer construction project on Highway 417 is already underway, and drivers are warned to expect delays. Starting today, the rightmost eastbound lane will be closed between Carling Avenue and the Rochester off-ramp. There will also be temporary lane and ramp closures between Island Park Drive and Kent Street. Crews are resuming work on the final leg of the Rapid Bridge replacement project. The work is expected to last until late summer. Well, if you live or work in the west end of the city, you may have noticed military helicopters flying in the skies. The Canadian Special Operations Forces Command is conducting training exercises in the Shirley's Bay and Carp areas until 10:30 tonight. So you may see and hear Griffin helicopters flying in formation. They are refueling at the Carp Airport.
The advancements in prevention, early detection, and treatments really having an impact for people across Canada.
Well, coming up, a new study reveals which types of cancers are on the rise in Canada.
Get the latest live local breaking news. Sign up now for our morning and evening CTV News Ottawa newsletter. The best local content from CTV News, Your Morning Ottawa, and News Talk 580 CFRA. Get it all in one place. Sign up now at ctvnewsottawa.ca. The CTV News Ottawa newsletter is brought to you in part by CAA Business.
New research published in the Canadian Medical Association Journal confirms cancer is still the leading cause of death in Canada, but the study also highlights a path of hope that these rates are declining across the country. CTV's Alison Bamford has more. Alison.
Thousands of patients step foot inside the Saskatoon Cancer Centre every year, including those who are seeking treatment for the very first time. A new study estimates there will be more than 250,000 new cancer diagnoses and nearly 90,000 cancer-related deaths in Canada this year, while a staggering 42% of Canadians are expected to be diagnosed with the disease at some point in their life. Still, there's hope in the numbers. Incidence and mortality rates are declining in most cancers, including leukemia, colorectal, bladder, and lung cancer, although it still remains the most prevalent type.
We're seeing, the advancements in prevention, early detection, and treatments really having an impact for people across Canada.
This month, Saskatchewan made the move to help reduce the wait times for breast cancer screenings, adding to its fleet of mobile mammogram units that serve remote communities. Despite the progress in many areas, the study shows rates of some cancers are rising, including cervical, head, and neck, linked to HPV. Experts say improving vaccination rates could help stop these types of cancers before they start. Alison Bamford, CTV News, Saskatoon.
Not a fan of robotics taking people's jobs in general, or AI, or like any of that stuff. But also it feels somewhat inevitable.
Would you ride in a self-driving taxi? There are reports a U.S. tech company wants to test its robo-taxis in Toronto. There are reports that U.S. tech company Waymo is working to bring its self-driving taxis to Toronto streets. But would the city be on board? Here's CTV's Rahim Ladani.
In a city filled with traditional taxis and ride-sharing, Toronto roads could soon be driven by a new mode of transportation: self-driving vehicles.
I don't think I would feel very comfortable with that, just because if there's like a technical error or something.
I think they're cost efficient. They have it in San Francisco and I tried it out and it's pretty good.
Not a fan of robotics taking people's jobs in general, or AI, or like any of that stuff. but also it feels somewhat inevitable.
Waymo is a fully autonomous ride-hailing service with no human driver in the front seat. The California-based tech company already operates in 11 U.S. cities and is looking to expand in other major cities, including London, Tokyo, and possibly Toronto.
The big advantage that self-driving cars have over human drivers is that they can see in all directions at all the time and never get tired or bored.
Mayor Olivia Chow's office says the company, which is owned by Google's parent company, Alphabet, told them it plans to apply for a provincial pilot program to conduct tests. In a statement, a spokesperson for Chow says the mayor's priority is protecting jobs in Toronto. Any move toward autonomous vehicles must not put people out of work or undermine workers' livelihoods. The mayor will not support Waymo if it costs jobs, drives down wages for other workers, or contributed to precarious work in our city. Waymo must demonstrate this will not happen.
There's a concern that if you have all these autonomous vehicles floating around where you're trying to make money on them and they don't actually have passengers in them, do they just circle? Because doesn't that just add to the traffic problems we already experienced?
This wouldn't be the first time a self-driving vehicle pilot project would meet Toronto traffic. Last summer, Magna International was accepted into Ontario's automated vehicle pilot program. The city was against it, and the test drive ended just a few months later. In 2021, self-driving shuttle buses were launched, but canceled the same year after a collision and the supplier shut down.
Would you sue the manufacturer of the AI that is in the car? And that is an open question.
Waymo's website says its vehicles undergo rigorous safety checks. Under the provincial pilot, collisions must be reported within 10 days and have enough insurance to operate in Ontario. Waymo have not responded to requests from CTV News about bringing these vehicles to Toronto. Raheem Ladani, CTV News.
Well, coming up, celebrating a special birthday for the world's oldest gorilla. We introduce you to Fatu when we come back. Jackie.
Well, thanks so much, Patricia. Additional rounds of showers and thunderstorms are expected over the next 3 days. So tomorrow, 11 degrees is the daytime high. We have a thunderstorm risk in the morning. It should clear by the time the afternoon rolls around, but Wednesday morning we could see another round of showers moving through. By the time we get to Thursday, though, 17 degrees, but again, with it, 15 to 20 millimeters of rain is anticipated. Here's a live look through our Centennial Glass Sky Cam. No rain in sight for the rest of our Monday as the sun begins to set. 17 degrees is the current temperature.
Tomorrow on Your Morning Ottawa, I paid a visit to a local salon where parents can learn how to style their child's curly hair with an innovative workshop. Tune in on CTV or stream us live on Crave.
Hairstyles, courtesy of Salon Fiorella.
Here's what's on CTV tonight. E-Talk, The Big Bang Theory, The Fall and Rise of Reggie Dinkins, back-to-back episodes, The Quiz with Balls, and The Rookie. We want to take a final look at this damp forecast for this week.
Yes, the good news is there's a slight break, and it's right now. It's going to get into tomorrow morning. Cloudy skies to start things off. 7 degrees as well, but again, by 8 o'clock, we could see rain moving in quite heavily between 8 a.m. and noon, between 10 to 15 millimeters expected, even a risk of thunderstorm. Daytime high is 11 degrees, and look at those overnight lows. By the time we get to Wednesday into Thursday, it's going to be double digit, and that's the overnight lows. And Thursday, daytime high is going to be 17 degrees, but again, we'll have a steady period of rainfall moving through up until Friday. Saturday, though, cloudy skies, 21 degrees. Patricia and Austin, spring is here. Safe to say, finally. We've been asking for it for weeks. It's fair to say.
Yeah, we'll enjoy it as it lasts. Spring very quickly into hot summer, no doubt, after that 4-degree day. All right, we want to check in to see what our news team is working on for tonight. Austin will be on the desk this evening.
Yeah, thanks, Patricia. We'll be keeping a close eye, obviously, on these 3 key by-elections. Polls close tonight at 8:30. Plus, we'll introduce you to some of Ontario's brightest young minds at Ontario Tech University. From robotic space arms to autonomous driving, an exhibition is underway, and it's giving engineering students a platform to show off some of their solutions to real-world problems. Of course, you can get the news anytime, anywhere at ctvnewsottawa.ca. And join me tonight for CTV News at 11:30.
There'll be a lot of news watching happening tonight, for sure. All right, thank you, Austin. Finally for us tonight, The world's oldest known gorilla celebrated her 69th birthday at the Berlin Zoo today. No birthday cake for her today, but Fatou was treated to a vegetable gift basket to mark the occasion. The Western lowland gorilla first arrived in what was then West Berlin back in 1955. And according to Guinness World Records, a French sailor apparently took her out of Africa and traded her to cover a bar tab in France.
Oh,
This is awful. Before she was then sold to the Berlin Zoo, captive gorillas can usually live up to about 50 years old, making Fatou's 69th quite the achievement and amazing. Hopefully some really wonderful experiences after maybe a little bit of negative stuff for this wonderful creature. You're a big fan of gorillas, Austin.
I am, and especially her. She is gorgeous, isn't she?
You're staying so
What a
quiet. I'm
cutie.
like, you must have gorilla facts.
I do,
I
yeah.
have a friend who just returned from Uganda who went to the impenetrable forest to actually see gorillas in the wild and says, I mean, you have to have like $1 million to do it, but says it was the most amazing travel experience ever.
Yeah, well,
maybe one day.
Color me jealous. For what it's worth, the oldest ape on the planet, 83 years old, a chimpanzee.
More on that next time.